unfortunate. Nick Cannon's family drama of having these children and sadly losing a child and then having, announcing he was pregnant with another child 3 months later, it overshadowed the guests. What Sally Jesse Raphael did, what Phil Donahue did, what Oprah did, they sprinkled in a little of their personal lives, but it was about the audience. Could you even name, it was about the guests. Could you even name one guest on Nick's show that told like a compelling story?
Well, the only reason I could is, I know that Gorga over there, what's her name? Melissa Gorga? She was bopping around down there, or whatever her name is, over there at that RHONJ. But, well, that's how we do things here behind the velvet rope. I'm happy if you don't know anything about me ever. It's all about the guests. And people DM all the time. You're the only podcaster that doesn't interrupt your guests. It's not about me. Forget about me. Just forget I exist, guys. Thank you for listening. But it's all about the guests. Really, it is.
But most hosts are not like that. And well, I think I think the real's gone. What's the real? Like, I don't know. You and I break more stories than the real does. I don't know.
What's going to happen? And when Adrienne Bayan was just on my show here, she said, she said it, it's on the episode. I'm not talking out of school. She said she doesn't even like doing the celebrity story. She's like, that's not what I like. I just don't like doing the pop culture stuff. She likes the real stories when you can help someone and it's like, inspiring and someone's sick and just learning something, which is great. Bravo to her. It's not the brand that we're putting forth here. I wish well for everyone, but what are they going to put in terms of the real? I don't know. It certainly ain't going to be a soap opera. That's over. It's not going to be this. I don't know what it's going to be. Don't know what it's going to be.
It has to be something so different that your audience who does not live in Hollywood cares about.
Are we going to start having reality TV at 10 a.m. in the morning? Maybe that's where the world is going.
Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah.
Game shows, are game shows hot anymore? I don't know. Does anyone out there watch Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune anymore? I don't watch that shit.
I couldn't tell you a thing.
Price is Right. I don't know. So, but I've have some sources that I've spoken to. I think it's not confirmed, but I think it's really going to happen. And so we'll miss Garcelle and we'll miss Adrienne and we'll miss everybody.
Yeah.
But the talk show format, if anyone wants to pitch to a network, save your money. It's probably not what they're going to.
It is true. I pitch shows all the time and they say the talk show format is the hardest. It's just, we're the new talk show, being on YouTube, being a podcast, that's the talk show. That's what people want to go listen to during their day or watch.
I agree with you. So there are some negative things. Oh, here's something positive.
Okay.
Now I already saw this, but I did the Friends and Family when it launched in New York. Miss Sonja Morgan, I guess her test run for Friends and Family in the 3 cities she already did. Sonja Morgan is officially picked up. Was it CAA? It's a major, I think it's CTA, Creative Arts, CA's Creative Arts Agency, whatever it is. Sonja was picked up and she's not coming back to RHONY. Right. UTA major. And for anyone out there that hasn't listened to any of our chats or, when I say like, I don't work for Bravo. I'm not employed there, but I can tell you Sonja Morgan isn't coming back. I've been saying that for 3 years. No one's listened to me. Now people actually are kind of listening. So she's not coming back to RHONY. So we shouldn't worry about that. And she's on the road. Miss Morgan is on the road. This cabaret, which she tried out, which I saw in the New York Friends and Family scene. It's the tickets are on sale, guys. She's doing Huntington, Long Island. She's doing New Jersey, but she's doing dates. So anyone that wants to go see Sonja, it's different than Luann's show. I saw it. I did a whole Patreon episode. I went with the girls from Access Hollywood and we did a Patreon episode because I wanted it behind for Patreon people only. And I gave my honest opinion of what I thought of this particular show. Now I do have to tell you, because I am here behind the velvet rope and it's not about me and I have no life. I am going back to the show, the Miss Sonja Morgan show.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Well, I'm taking up residence in the Hamptons for 5 months, which I think I told you that. And God help me, I'm going to have to leave, but she's in Long Island during my tenure in the Hamptons, which it doesn't mean anything. It's not exactly close to the Hamptons, but I'm leaving and I will be attending the Sonja Morgan show. I would like to see
in Huntington.
I owe it to these lovely people to see if the show has changed, how it has changed. Look, I don't like to say bad things about anyone, you know what I mean? But
I know.
how can I put this? First of all, go and listen to the episode on Patreon if you want a real breakdown. But look, Sonja is a sweet, kind woman who wouldn't hurt a fly. And doesn't that matter more than anything else in the world? You know, there's no
she sounds
mean
amazing.
bone in her body. And so people love Sonja, and good for her that this test, it must have sold, because it's being rolled out now. They did the Friends and Family in New York, but they sold a few dates like Philly, Boston. I think she did like 4 shows, and it must have sold during November, December, because here we are. So Sonja is on tour. So anyone, this is a non-paid sponsorship. Go to Ticketmaster, type in Miss Morgan, Sonja, Morgan Letters, Countess Lou. Countess Lou is back on the road too, let me tell you.
Is she? Well, I just went to sonjainyourcity.com. So Cincinnati, Ohio is April 29th. Then she's in Indianapolis on the 30th. Then she goes down to Texas, San Antonio in May, Houston in May, Dallas. Then she goes to Huntington in June, Montclair, Atlanta, Georgia, and then back to Columbus, Ohio. She must have a lot of Ohio fans.
Oh, and you know who I'm also going to see live?
Who?
I need to visit some of the Dallas housewives. So guys, we'll have some Dallas gals coming up on the show. I am going to be in Dallas, and I'm going to see the one, the only Miss Lala Kent. Lala is doing a podcast tour too. I mean,
there you go.
Listen, this is why when I tell you, when you and I do our podcast tour, I've been to them all. I know what works. I've seen Straight Up with Stassi 800 times. I went to Brandy and Stephanie from Dallas had a podcast tour. I went to I think Austin, Texas with Deandra for that. Look at your mouth is dropping open. They all do
I didn't realize they all had podcast tours.
Everyone has a quote unquote podcast tour. Some guys are better than others. And let's see what Lala brings. I'll be there. Sonja's is a cabaret-esque. And when you and I do ours, it's going to be good because we know what works and what doesn't work. At least I do, and now I'll share it all with you. So there you go.
Do they still have their podcast?
Isn't that a good question? I think that Cameron has one with Carrie. Cam Westcott has one with Carrie Brinningham, the last that I checked. I assume that is still in existence. So, but there